Boxing Truth here. Had to talk a little bit about Victor Ortiz following another crushing defeat, the sixth of his career. That is, I would say, his fifth loss by way of knockout. He's lost 4 of his past 6 fights, counting the Berto loss, a fight that he was having some success in. Knocked Berto down, was doing the better of the two fighters. But when it's all said and done, when Victor Ortiz's career ends, whenever that may be, he'll be remembered by a lot of boxing media and a lot of boxing fans. It's one of the biggest bitches in boxing. Now, I don't mean to be disrespectful, or I'm not saying it's my opinion. I'm just saying this is what's going to be said about the majority of boxing circles, and when they express their true feelings about Victor Ortiz. Now, I don't hate Victor Ortiz. I think he's weird as hell. He acts like a dweeb on national television, singing the Scorpions during an interview. He's just a different type of guy. He doesn't have a demeanor of a fighter. But, his actions do bother me in the ring. Like, his actions in the ring, quitting, acting the way he does before a fight. The way he be talking and how he treats his opponents, too friendly in the rings, giving silent agreements because mentally he's very weak when he's in the ring. Some people like what Victor Ortiz be doing, his antics, and it turns other people off. Just look at what happened following his knockout loss to Andre Berto. Someone tried to assault him, a pissed off fan. Perhaps maybe he drew everything down on Ortiz, thinking he would win, and who knows? But he tried to come at Victor Ortiz and try to assault him. He threw something at him. I don't know what he threw. I'm not sure if he got him, but Ortiz's camp was throwing bows with the crowd at the StubHub. Got that serious because Ortiz, he should really just hang up the gloves. He's not built for this. He's not made to be in the ring. It shocks me that he became world champion. He doesn't have the mental strength. He has the talent physically, but he just doesn't have it mentally to be a champion. But he became a champion because he beat another very flawed fighter, Andre Berto. Now, you saw in the fight, both guys are past their best. You can see the difference between the first fight and the rematch. Both guys are way more explosive in the first fight. Both guys are a lot younger, fresher, more confident fighters because Berto was undefeated and had never been beat in the ring as a professional. And Victor Ortiz, for that one night only in his career, he was vicious, as his nickname indicates, in the ring. He was vicious that night. He had the eye of the tiger. He was motivated for one night to prove his doubters wrong, that he could bring out the potential he has in the ring as a prize fighter. And he did that against Andre Berto, who was a protected fighter built up from Heyman, but he was still a confident fighter going in. He was a big favorite, was supposed to win that fight, showed the ability that he could defeat Victor Ortiz by knocking him down. But that first fight went Ortiz's way, and in the rematch, Ortiz just, he's been not very active, hasn't been in the ring, hasn't been in a top fight in years. Like, he hasn't been in there with a name fighter or a top fighter in a while. So when he knocked Berto down, he didn't push on the gas because he wasn't confident enough mentally to go after Ortiz. He hasn't, been in the ring too much, and he laid back and just continued to do what he was doing before, trying to set up Berto with a straight left, throwing good jabs to the body. He was winning the fight. and Berto, he looked like a shot fighter physically. He didn't look sharp. He looked lethargic in there. He wasn't letting his hands go. Signs of a shot fighter. But finally, he threw some haymakers, threw some fight changing type punches, and the first big punch he landed, he dropped Ortiz. And like I said in my prediction vid, I picked Ortiz simply because I felt he still has more physically. But as I said in the video, that mentally he is shot. If it gets rough for him, he very may well quit. It's just who he is as a fighter nowadays. And that's exactly what happened. Ortiz was showing that he had more left in the tank physically. He was piling up more points than Berto, knocked him down, had a better start, was perhaps on a way to boxing his way to a victory. But Berto adjusted. He recovered from the knockdown and was able to land some big shots. And it didn't take much resistance from Berto to pretty much bring up that doubt in Victor Ortiz's mind and consider just packing it in and quitting in the ring. And that's what he did, just like he always does in all of his fights, most of his fights. The Maidana fight, the Mayweather fight, the Collazo fight, and now the Berto fight. I mean, he got up in the fight, in the rematch with Berto the second time, the last knockdown. He got up, and Jack Reese asks that stupid question, and then Victor Ortiz didn't say anything. So he pretty much just quit. He wasn't he didn't want anymore, and that's what he did. But, Ortiz just needs to hang up the gloves, you know what I'm saying? He needs to stop embarrassing himself in the ring. Stop, he's just stop acting like he's still an elite fighter, because it's over for him. It's done. He's never gonna be a top fighter again, like Danny Garcia said. He says he's gonna continue to fight, but there's really no point. He can't beat any world-class fighter anymore. He's gone mentally. He's even not as explosive physically. He still has some left, but just nothing compared to 2012, 2011 Ortiz. Just he's past his best, but that's how it's gonna go down in his career. He's gonna be regarded as one of the biggest bitches in boxing. I mean, the multiple quit jobs, you can see the bitch in him when he talks, and the rumors of him sparring in the gym, what went down. A type of guy that walks out and during in the middle of a sparring session. Brandon Rios used to say he used to make Victor Ortiz cry like a little bitch. He used to beat him up and sparring, give him a few pelas like he was his old man. And you know what? I believe Victor Ortiz. I believe Brandon Rios when he says that, because you can see the bitch in Victor Ortiz. When he talks, when he fights, when he's not, acting like a fighter, when he doesn't bite down his mouthpiece like he hasn't done in the majority of his career. Only for one fight he had that eye of the tiger. He had that will to win, the will to say no, that he wasn't going to be denied. During his development stage, he had it. He had the potential. He had the tools. He had the marketability. He was going to be the next Oscar, but it just wasn't meant to be. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.